Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner here over on our YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about colouring on some dark cardstock with pencils. This has become a really popular at the minute, and I wanted to put a little bit of a spin on it and do a little bit of no-line pencil colouring on dark coloured cardstock. So I'm going to be using this image here just for my stamping. This is from Floral Shadow Stamp Set, and it is one of my favourite sets. So I'm just going to be inking all of this image up repeatedly on the top part of my card, and I'm using some white pigment ink. I'm using the white pigment ink to act as a base for my pencil colouring, so I know where I'm going to colour, and also it does help the pencil shine out a little bit more from the dark cardstock. So as you can see, I'm just stamping them quite randomly, kind of tucking them into each other like a jigsaw puzzle, and also adding some small leaves to the edges so it looks like a continuous piece of patterned paper. Once you have finished stamping, now it's time for colouring. I'm going to be using polychromos pencils in shades of teal, green, and a little bit of an orange and yellow as well. So as you can see, I've kind of sketched out the shape of my petal on one of the flowers, and I'm going to add in the darkest bit first. So I'm using the darkest one, which is Helio Turquoise. If you are using fibre pastel pencils, you can use other ones for this. I'm then going to use a medium shade, and this is the Cobalt Green. This does happen to be one of my favourite colour combos when doing a teal colour with my pencils. I'm then going to use the light Cobalt Turquoise, turquoise even, for the outside edge, and I'm going to use this as well to add like a highlight to the edge of the petals. This is going to give kind of like a Plumera flower look to it, because we do have a great highlight on the edge of those petals. So then I'm going to move on to the next petal, and I'm going to do exactly the same as I did for the first one. I'm going to add in the darkest bit first, then I'm going to take this colour out with the medium shade, and then for the top of the petal I'm then going to take my lightest colour. So as you can see, I'm going to repeat this all the way around the flower until my flower is complete. I do use the lighter pencil to sketch out the petals, first, and then I can see where I am going to be colouring. So if you look at the flower as in just petals, one petal at a time, it's not that complicated. Sometimes people look at things and think, oh, I'm not going to be able to colour that because it's the full flower. But if you do it petal by petal, it's a really, really simple way and simple technique just to colour this flower in. And all it is 6 little petals that you are going to be colouring. I do a kind of a flick technique. So as you can see, I'm just going to add the highlights in first. I'm sketching the petal out first. I'm then going to take my darkest, and I'm just flicking from the centre, so I've got a darker piece in the base of the petal. I'm then flicking out again with the medium shade, just blending these two colours together, and then taking the lightest colour again to add colour to the tip of the petal. And I do flick inwards when I'm using the lightest one. And that's all I'm doing. That's it. That's simple as that. So all you need to do is just keep completing this step of the darkest colour at the centre, flicking outwards, then use the middle colour, flick this one out too, and then go to the lightest shade to add the highlight on the edge of the petal and around the petal as well. So I'm just going to finish this last one here, and then I'm going to move on to a different part of the image, because you don't want to hear me chatting about this all day using the same technique over and over. So I'm just going to add in the medium, the light one, and then I'm going to move on to a different image. And as you can see, the flower even is nearly complete. I've just added a little bit of a centre with some orange. If you're using polychromos, I have used dark Candamin orange and also the dark chrome yellow. So now I'm going to create a bud. I know these are probably supposed to be leaves, but I'm going to create them into buds. So all I've done is I've created 2 crescent shapes on them, and then I'm going to go in and colour them again. I'm using the same technique as I used for the flower of adding the dark to the base of the petal, then going through the medium shade and to the light, and adding the lovely, beautiful highlight with the really light one as well. So it's going to give us a really great effect, especially if you use a really dark colour and a really light colour. You're going to get the most depth and shade from this technique. You could add in a different 4 shadings if you wanted to, but I think that 3 works on this image. So you can see that was a really easy way to add a bud to this image just out of a leaf. So I'm just going to show you how I've created the leaves. So I'm just going to add a dark green to the base. Again, I'm going to go in with a medium green, and then I'm going to take a lighter green on the leaf. So I'm using exactly the same technique as I did for the petals, but on the leaves this time. If you are using polychromos pencils, I'm using olive green yellowish, earth green, and May green for my leaves. So I'm going to be using the same technique all the way around this image. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of music on so you can see my colouring process. So after I'd finished all of my colouring, I didn't want to take anything away from the amount of time that I had spent on it. So I just wanted to add a really simple sentiment to the bottom of my card. I'm using a sentiment from Parrot Paradise stamp set, and it says, "I'll always be here for you," which is very, very sweet. So I'm just going to heat emboss this on the bottom of my card, and I'm using some pure white embossing powder from Altenew, and I've used some anti-static powder. That's the white bit at the bottom of it that looks a bit powderish, and I'll be able to wipe that off later. So I'm just heat setting it, and there is my card complete. I'm really happy about the way this turned out, and I love the colours of those flowers just popping against the dark cardstock. I really do hope you've liked the video and liked the technique, and also I would love it if you did give it a go. We would really love to see what you come up with. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you really, really soon. If you don't want to miss out on any of the videos that we do upload to our channel, it would be great if you do subscribe so you won't miss out on anything. There are a couple more videos for here for you to watch as well, and I'll see you again really soon. Goodbye.